it's important to know about at any age in particular, all the legal things. Today we have a great guest in the studio to talk about it.
I know, I'm so excited because honestly, I'm really here to learn as much as I am to help educate our viewers. Welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, you're with Schaffer Associates. Can you tell us what is the law firm and what do you guys do?
Okay. Well, Schaffer Associates, we've been around for 3 years, but we have, each of us attorneys individually have many more years of practice. I've been an attorney for 21 years, and the other attorneys actually at the office have even more experience than I do. I personally handle Social Security disability cases, so assisting those individuals who find themselves in sort of a very difficult position where they're not able to continue working because of their health. And then the other attorneys at the office handle primarily workers' compensation claims, so assisting people who've been hurt on the job.
Wow.
Yeah. So walk us through, what are some of your more typical cases? Is it someone who has waited too long and they didn't know how to file correctly, or how does that kind of work?
So that does happen quite a lot. I think a lot of people initially, when they first go off work, are reluctant to file. Obviously, if any condition you have, you hope it gets better, you hope you can go back to work, you can bounce back, and it's great when you do, but when you don't, you just need to be realistic and make sure that you're covering all your bases and taking care of yourself, not only your health, but financially. And that's really where Social Security disability can come in. To be eligible, really, you have to have a condition or a combination of conditions that are going to impact and limit your ability to work for at least a year. And the one thing I always tell people is that you don't need to be off work for a year to apply. There just needs to be an expectation or a likelihood that you're going to be off. So, if you have, say you have a back condition and you need to have surgery and there's going to be this long, extensive recovery from the surgery, filing sooner rather than later is always good. The Social Security Administration right now is pretty behind in processing these cases. So part of the reason for recommending filing early is just the fact that it can take a very long time to get through the process. Right now, we're seeing about 3 to 6 months and really closer to that 6-month mark to get an initial decision. And if that's a denial, which unfortunately more than half of them are denied initially, there is an appeals process, but that process can take about a year to a year and a half to get through.
Oh my gosh.
So
what is the difference maybe between filing by yourself or filing with the help of some legal counterpart?
So having an attorney help you from the very beginning is good in the sense that the attorney can make sure all the information is there. They can stay on top of the caseworkers at Social Security to make sure the case is being processed. They can keep Social Security updated with all of the information, the medical treatment, things that are going on. So it's always good to have an attorney who's familiar with Social Security and knows really what they're looking for, in assisting with disability cases. The one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize is that, actually two things, but one thing is that filing for Social Security disability does not automatically mean you'll never work again.
Right.
So, I do have a lot of people who are like, I don't want to file for disability. I plan on going back to work at some point, and that's fine. If you're off work a year and a half or 2 years and you get better and you want to go back to work, you can do that. That's not a problem at all. So that's one thing I always try to emphasize to my clients is if you do improve, if you do get better, or you find a job that you're able to do, you can do that. That's not a problem. So, it's really designed to help people during this period where they're really struggling health-wise and need that financial assistance.
I was going to say really quickly, what are some of the biggest misconceptions that people have when it comes to Social Security disability?
I get a lot of people who say, I never thought I'd find myself in this position.
Yeah.
And there's almost a negative stigma behind it with filing for disability. And that's why I try to encourage people. This is, not a bad thing to have to do. That's why it's here. Use it if you need to. One of the other really big issues that we come across is people don't understand that there's two different types of disability with Social Security. So there's your typical Social Security disability, or SSD, that a lot of people refer to as, and that's the benefit that is based on what you pay into Social Security.
Right.
So the one thing with that is to keep in mind is that once you stop paying in, you eventually lose that coverage.
Right.
So it doesn't continue forever.
Making sure to keep that in mind.
So that's another reason to make sure you file, sooner rather than later. You want to make sure your coverage doesn't lapse.
Definitely.
Where can people find out more information about Schaffer Associates to go to find an attorney?
They can certainly contact us at our website, schafferlawyers.com, or even give us a call, 419-350-8277.
Thank you so much. I know we could really talk about this for so much longer. Thank you so much for coming, Laura, and we'll have that information up on NBC24.com.